The OPPD Board of Directors approves a salary increase for their positions. The Power District says this is the first raise since 2005.
First Alert 6, Joe Harris joins us live from the newsroom with the details.
That's right, John and Jacqueline. Board members voted 6-1 to double their own salaries. This will put them between $26,000 and more than $30,000 starting next year. OPPD says it's important that effective governance, that its board members be, quote, fairly compensated. Now, this wasn't without critics, though. Some who spoke during tonight's public hearing say while board members do deserve higher pay, they feel it should be raised in increments rather than immediately doubled. Also discussed tonight, the proposed rate increase they introduced earlier this week is, if approved, residential customers would see their monthly bill go up by 8.4%. So if your average monthly bill is $100, you'd be paying an extra $100 for the year. OPPD gives several reasons for this, including keeping up with new demands for electricity, as well as the cost of severe weather like this. The Nebraska Sierra Club says it is not against the rate increases. They just want the Power District to do more to help customers and be more aware of the energy efficient incentives it offers.
The reason that solar helps utilities as well as weatherization is because then it means people are using less energy, and that means they don't have to create more, gas plants or whatever it is, or in their peak periods it helps them so they don't have shutdowns.
Now, not all agree with that, though. Another person who spoke says before making such a rate change, OPPD should seek out weatherization efficiency funding, federal and state grants, and increase the current OPPD rebate programs for its customers.
I say it is imperative that the Omaha Public Board of Directors look at such a rate increase that will affect its residential customers, particularly those from marginal communities. Look at how the traditionally underserved customers will be able to withstand such a rate increase.
Now, the board will vote on the proposed rate increases in December. We'll have word on that when we get to that point. Live in the newsroom, Joe Harris.